6 harsh truths about old age you need to accept to live a happy life. Welcome back to my channel. I'm David again. Today I want to talk about something very few of us are truly prepared for. 6 harsh truths that come with old age. As the years pass, love no longer demands intensity. It demands honesty. The reshapes stop revolving around emotional highs and begin to reveal what truly remains when the noise fades. Some connections naturally fall away, others grow heavier. Precisely at a time when your energy has become precious, old age has its own way of stripping life down to what truly matters. And within all of these lessons, the 6th truth quietly determines whether the years ahead will be lived in peace or in prolonged emotional tension. It is something many people sense yet avoid, and it is the one thing that changes everything once you finally accept it. Before we begin, if you want to hear more seasoned perspectives on love, dating, and relationships after 60, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here we speak honestly about what many people feel, but very few dare to say out loud. The issue, and to understand why the 6th truth matters so deeply, we need to begin with the first one. The issue: your body will never be the same again. And this is the first lesson that old age forces us to face. The issue: after 60, we rarely notice the change through a major event, but through ordinary moments, getting out of bed a little slower in the morning, a pain that lingers longer than it used to, or fatigue arriving earlier even on a quiet day. The body quietly signals that it has moved into a different rhythm. Old age brings a decline that cannot be reversed. But the real pain is not in aging itself. It lies in continuing to demand youth from a body that no longer belongs to that stage of life. The issue: when we grow frustrated with new limitations or feel ashamed of no longer being quick or strong, we turn our own body into an opponent instead of the final companion of our journey. Peace begins only when we change how we treat the body. 1. From forcing to cooperating, from resentment to respect. I once read a line that stayed with me for a long time. Aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. The aging body does not take away our capacity to love. It simply invites us to love more slowly, more honestly. And when we accept our limits, our relationships also grow deeper, grounded in presence and understanding. The body does not need you to fight for it. It only needs you to stay and to listen. And when you truly do that, you begin to realize that it is not only your body that is changing, but the way the relationships around you quietly leave or remain starts to carry a very different meaning. Many relationships will gradually fade away, and that is unavoidable. After a certain age, you begin to notice that the circle around you quietly grows smaller, not because anyone is right or wrong, but because life itself has shifted. Death takes away familiar faces, distance thins out conversations, and inner changes mean that many relationships no longer meet at the same point. This does not say that your value has diminished. It simply reflects a very natural rule of life. Everything has its cycle. At first, these departures can leave you feeling unsettled. You begin to wonder whether you have been forgotten. But over time you realize that old age does not take relationships away. It removes connections that no longer fit the person you have become. Those who remain often do not speak much or appear often, but they offer something very different: a sense of calm, safety, and effortlessness. Happiness at this stage no longer lies in the number of people around you, but in the depth of rare conversations, in the full presence of a few genuine connections, a small circle, yet quiet enough for you to be yourself, without explanation, without performance. The issue, and sometimes it is precisely in this narrowing that you first understand what true connection really means. When you accept that not everyone will walk with you to the end of the journey, you begin to feel lighter and ready to step into another stage of inner life. One where peace, emotional freedom, and truly meaningful connections begin to take shape. Old age teaches us one difficult truth to accept: no one can carry your emotions for you. Old age forces us to face an uncomfortable reality. No one can shoulder your emotional weight for the long term. Not a partner, not your children, not any relationship. Issue at this stage of life, expecting someone else to make you feel secure, understood, or less lonely, only leads to greater exhaustion. And because everyone is already carrying their own limits. The happiest older people I have met share one thing in common. They are no longer searching for emotional rescue from the outside. The issue instead, they build a solid relationship with themselves. They learn to sit with their feelings, to listen to their sadness without rushing it away, and to soothe themselves without judgment. When you become your own place of inner safety, loneliness does not disappear completely. This also changes the way you enter relationship. You no longer come from fear or lack, but from choice, and from that place, connections become lighter, more honest, and free from the burden of having to save or be saved. If you see yourself in these words, please take a moment to like this video and share your experience in the comments. Have you ever felt that after 60, what matters most is no longer how many people surround you, but whether there is someone who truly listens to you? And when you stop searching for someone else to keep your emotional balance for you, the issue, you begin to notice another quiet shift. The way you see your own value in the world slowly begins to change. The issue, your sense of importance in society will change. And it happens more quietly than you expect. The world keeps moving forward without waiting for anyone. After a certain age, you begin to notice that your name is mentioned less often. Your opinion is asked for less frequently, and your presence is no longer tied to productivity. For many, this feels like being pushed to the margins, as if your value is slowly fading in a world that is too fast and too loud. But those who age in peace see this differently. They understand that this is not exclusion, but a natural shift of roles. When society no longer demands that you prove yourself or compete, you are given back a rare kind of freedom. The freedom to stop performing, to stop comparing, to stop needing to be seen in order to exist. At this stage, value no longer comes from how much you do, but from how you are present. It is in this quiet space that many people experience a deeper kind of calm for the first time. You speak less, but your words carry more weight. You move more slowly, but your inner life becomes steadier. And when you stop trying to hold your place in the eyes of the world, you begin to find a firmer place within yourself. When you no longer need to be important by the world's standards, you begin to matter in your own. And from this freedom, another question slowly emerges. What will you choose to carry with you when the time ahead is no longer as abundant as it once was? Time becomes precious, and boundaries become necessary. This is a truth that old age does not allow us to ignore. As you enter the later years of life, you begin to feel one thing very clearly. Time is no longer something you can spend carelessly. Each morning you wake up, each conversation, each relationship carries a different weight. Old age leaves no room for drama, for emotional push and pull, or for obligations that exist only out of habit and fear. Anything that drains you over time becomes far too costly. That is why setting boundaries is no longer selfish. It becomes a matter of survival. The issue, you learn to say no, not with anger but with calm clarity. You step away from relationships that consume your energy, explain yourself less, and stop trying to please everyone. This may disappoint others, even make them uncomfortable, but that is no longer your task at this stage of life. Your task is to protect the peace you spent many years learning to value. Inner peace, after a certain age, is no longer a negotiable choice. It becomes the standard by which every decision is made. Choose where to be, whom to meet, and what to allow into your life based on one simple question. Does this keep me at ease? And from that clarity, life feels lighter, relationships become fewer but more genuine, and every remaining moment begins to carry deeper meaning. When you protect your time, you are protecting your life. And when boundaries become clear and time is no longer wasted, you come to understand that what brings the deepest peace is not holding on, but knowing how to let go of what is no longer necessary. As we come to the end of this conversation, You may also sense what old age quietly teaches us. Wit not through dramatic events, but through a gentle settling. The 6 truths we've just explored are not meant to frighten or discourage you. They are simply a mirror inviting us to look again at how we are living, how we are loving, and what we are still holding on to in the years ahead. Old age does not take your life away. It merely removes the layers that are no longer necessary, allowing what truly matters to come into clearer view. You no longer need to be as strong as before, as important as before, or surrounded by as many people as before. What you may need now is simply enough peace, so that each day no longer feels like a battle. If there is one thing worth holding on to after everything else, it is gentleness. Toward yourself, toward your past, and toward the rhythm of your present life. Because in the end, a life well lived is not one without loss, but one that no longer fights against what cannot be changed. If something from this conversation stayed with you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe to the channel in the videos ahead. I'll continue sharing quiet, honest reflections on relationships, self-respect, and emotional balance, especially matters most. Life does not ask us to move faster. It only asks that we know when to pause. And I'm David. Thanks for watching my video till now, and see you next time.